Let's get ready to rumble!
Benzinga Nation, jam-packed show today. Peloton up 5%.
What's up, disciplined investor?
We got Benzinga CEO Jason Raznick here with us.
The man, the myth, the legend, Tom Nash.
Peter Schiff on the Power Hour with us live today. Interesting, different, unique, innovative companies. Mia, you are live with us on the Power Hour. What's up?
Thank you so much for inviting me on.
Jessica Billingsley, that is the CEO of Akerna, the best trade idea resource out there. Yo, what's going on, everybody? Happy Wednesday, hump day. Per Geico, yeah, it was a solid commercial. Still think about it every single Wednesday and occasionally other days of the week as well. But what's going on, everybody? Welcome to the Power Hour. My name is Luke Jacobi over here on the Benzinga team, and you are at the Trade Idea Show. You have arrived. We are in this thing together. But what's going on, everybody? Like I mentioned just a moment ago, trade ideas. That's what we're going for on this show, okay? Not just coming from myself. Not just coming from our guests, but we have a hell of a lineup of guests today. I'll take you through that in a second. But most importantly, coming out of the chat, guys, in the chat, if you have any tickers that you are watching today, drop them in the chat. If you have anything you're trading today, anything you're especially bullish on, bearish on, let us know. Help your fellow Zingers out. Let's get that idea stream rolling. Smash that like button, share the stream because we are bringing you guys some fire today. So lined up, first things first, we're going to have the CEO of ALF, ticker ALF, is going to be joining us in just a couple minutes now. If you guys recall, we brought you that stock literally last week, up more than 100% since then. So we're going to be bringing him back on. We're going to be talking about that. We're going to be talking to KULR. Michael Mo is going to be joining us again. Super interesting company. Recently got that NASDAQ uplisting. That's going to be at 12:30 Eastern. And then at 12:45 Eastern, we're going to be talking carparts.com, ticker PRTS COO. David is back with us. I am in the stock. The stock got hammered yesterday, down maybe about 15% or so. A little bit of a recovery on that one. But we're going to be talking to David about what exactly is going on and any updates that they have. But again, guys, jam-packed show that we have ahead of us. I'm taking a look at the tickers that we have coming into the chat. FSR, TRGP, CCIV, DraftKings, AEI. I don't know that one. Palantir, SoFi. Yeah, you guys have a lot of stocks you're watching today. I don't know if anybody saw Weed Maps, that SPAC deal closing today. So that's going to be a new symbol I'm expecting that we'll start seeing in there. But again, guys, we're keeping it rolling. Keep the ideas coming. If you have any stocks in particular you want us to talk about on the show, we will have some time today. Other symbols that are on my radar. I don't have a pen. Producer AT, could you grab me a pen, please? Thank you, sir. Okay. I fumbled the pen catch, but don't worry, we're good now. Other tickers that are on my radar today that we're going to be talking about, we have AMC. We're going to talk about Torchlight. We're going to talk about Tesla, and we're going to talk about NEO. So outside of the interviews that we have coming up, those are the ones that are on my radar. Yesterday, live on the show, we sold our position in GM. That was the first trade that we made in the live portfolio that we watch together every single day today. So let's get after it. What do y'all think? And let me open this one up too. All right. First question of the day. First thing I'm crowdsourcing out to the community today. Who was watching that move in ALF yesterday? Ticker ALF. Let me get the screen back on here. Give me a second. Okay. I'm going to, there we go. All right, there we go. So here's, let's zoom the chart out. So there's a 5-day chart, right? Again, you see the stock gapping from the 3s as high as 9. I think that was in the early pre-market or right after our open today. Now it's sitting at $7, more than 100% run. But guys, if you were watching this stock yesterday or trading this stock, drop a 1 in the chat. I want to see where everybody is at because we are bringing ALF back onto the stream. By popular demand. So without further ado, let's get straight into it. Paul, how are you doing today, sir? Welcome back to the Power Hour. Amazing day you've had. Amazing, crazy 24 hours, 48 hours, I'm sure. But how are things sitting in your world?
It's going according to plan. I mean, we're powering down, we're powering through, we're executing on the contracts, and having a good time doing it. Especially when you see when the stocks. I mean, the stocks trading a tight float, and we're going to keep it tight. We respect those retail shareholders that have stepped in and taken those positions, and we're gonna stick true to our word, and that float's gonna stay tight until you start seeing revenues posted.
All right, there we go. First air horn of the day on that one. I love it. And I know that we just asked you to do this like about a week ago. But just really quick for anybody who isn't familiar with the company, it's called ALFI. Could you just give us a little bit of background on what you guys do, and then we'll get into the news that came out earlier this week.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, so the digital out-of-home markets have been really lagging a technological infusion for about 20 years. So you've got your traditional out-of-home market, which are those billboards that are print billboards, and then you got what's called the digital out-of-home. But the digital out-of-home markets today are really just digital screens. They're not intelligent. They don't capture data. They don't do any reporting. They're not real time. And then we got what we call the ALFI out-of-home market, which is the ALFI platform, which uses computer vision. It's privacy compliant. We capture demographics of the users. We're respecting their privacy. We never take any personal information, and that was one of the building blocks of building our platform. We use no cookies, and as a result, we're able to provide a much more targeted content, providing real relevant content to the right person at the right moment in time. I mean, if you imagine, that's a typical example I always give: a bus stop, bus shelter. You've got the Clear Channel and JCDecaux screens there, and they just relentlessly serve these ads up. Whether it's a rainy day, there's 10 people in front, nobody in front, all males, all females. It's indiscriminate impressions just serving up all day long. And so the brand owners really don't have that transparency and accountability on these screens. What ALFI does is if it were an ALFI platform, ALFI would detect, let's say, a 25-year-old female wearing a pair of yellow sunglasses. And our machine learning models using the computer vision will detect all those metrics. ALFI would then turn around and look in its portfolio and say, well, we're not going to serve this 25-year-old female a bunch of ads on retirement homes or wheelchairs. We're going to serve her up maybe the Louis Vuitton, the Prada, the Gucci sunglasses that we have there, fashionable sunglasses for women, because that's more relevant content for that user that's in front of the screen. And so just by virtue of doing that alone, our targeting is so much more accurate, and it's so much more accountable because we report it. We give the brand owners exactly what was delivered at what time and what kind of demographic of user was in front of the screen. So we believe that ALFI will transform the platform of what was traditionally the digital out-of-home to what we call the outernet, because ALFI really plays in two markets. There is the digital out-of-home market, which is about a $60 billion market, 60 billion. And then there's the digital online market, which is a $600 billion market. That's controlled by Facebook and Googles of the world. Things are changing. The cookies are being pretty much done away with. Their models are going to have to be redefined. And then there's ALFI that sits right in the middle, uses no cookies, is completely privacy compliant, GDPR compliant. And we play in both the digital online market and the digital out-of-home market. So our potential market that we can go after is 600 billion plus 60 billion. And it's a huge market worldwide. And we're seeing people, we're seeing companies all over the world uptake these and subscribe to this platform in a major way. As we speak right now, the Sunday Times in London heard about our ALFI technology, and they're doing an exclusive on our deployment, which is taking place as I speak right now in Hammersmith Mall in London. That's under contract. It's been signed. It's the first SaaS subscription-based contract that ALFI is deploying in London. And Hammersmith Mall, just so you know, is managed by Lambert Smith, and it's one of over 50 malls across the UK that they manage. The opportunity there, you can just imagine what the opportunity there is after this first contract that we have signed.
And so I'm sort of the slow down guy on this show. So let me make sure I understand correctly and just try to do the quick recap. But basically, in short, the computer is looking at the individual, and based on how the computer interprets that individual, it's then able to serve ads that are targeted for that individual. Is that correct?
That's correct. So let's just take one simple model: gender, male, female. So on your traditional digital out of home screens, ads are served regardless of whether there's a male or female in front of the screen.
Yep.
Alfie's machine learning model detects gender above 95% accuracy. So if it's a female, we'll serve ads that the brands have targeted for females. Maybe fashion, wear, cosmetics, things that women generally would pay attention to. If it's a male, the ads will be targeted towards the males. And so right there by itself, without even looking at any of the other metrics or any of the other machine models that we've built, we're 50% ahead of the game because we've been able to detect a male or female. So let's come back to the same example I just gave. That same 25-year-old female wearing Fendi sunglasses at the bus stop. Well, if you can't determine whether that's a male or female, you won't know to serve up female fashion wear or fashion sunglasses to that person because you don't know who's in front of the screen. So what we do is we detect what the demographics of the user in front of the screen are. We don't detect who the user is because we have no interest whatsoever in your personal information. Yeah. And that privacy line is very, very rigid with us. And that was one of the basis of how we built this platform.
Awesome. And Paul, so I want to talk about the announcement that you guys put out yesterday. We had the stock chart up just a minute ago. I mean, the stock went from being in the $3 range to as high as $9. Obviously a monster move. Can you give us some background on this deal, what it means for the future, and what else you have in the pipeline?
Sure. As I speak today, we have over 22,000 Uber and Lyft drivers signed up waiting for deployment of Alfie tablets.
Okay.
In major cities right across the U.S. We're deploying hundreds of Uber drivers in Miami right now. There's a line, they drive in, they're being deployed, they've got hot dogs and hamburgers and Gatorade and drinks being served while the tablets are being installed. The install time is about 3 minutes per
Wait. So it only takes 3 minutes to install and they still get the hot dog?
Yeah. They still get the hot dog.
It's a good deal.
So it's been going unbelievably well, and that install is moving very quickly to the remote install where we've done it so dummy proof now where the driver themselves can actually do their own installs, and that's moving rapidly to that position because we're rolling out after Miami there'll be 10 simultaneous cities rolled out across the US. And so the demand is growing, and also the demand from the brands, the national brands are there, and we're realizing that we have to step up our game a little bit more in Miami because there's more demand for ad space in Miami than we originally projected. So hence the next 10,000 tablets, and we've basically committed 50,000 tablets with Lenovo for delivery.
And are all 50,000 of those going to Uber and Lyft or not necessarily?
Yes.
Okay.
Uber, Lyft's, YOLO, and pretty much.
Okay. Excellent.
Paul, how's it going? Welcome back to the show. I had the pleasure of interviewing you last time, but I told Luke, I was like, this guy's so awesome. You got to step in for this one.
Thank you.
And I believe last time we had you on, you kind of alluded to that you might have some news coming out. Unfortunately, you couldn't share with us last time, but now that we see the news, it's a big deal. So I have a couple of questions about the deal. Is it like pretty even? Like, so you said you have 10,000 deploying right now. Is it 5,000 to Ubers, 5,000 to Lyfts, or is there a?
I honestly, but my answer is I don't know. I actually didn't. We don't discriminate between the Ubers and Lyfts. These guys. They're working hard. They're drivers. We share revenue with them. They're very appreciative for that because any extra revenue that they can get will help their
absolutely
their cause. And so we really don't differentiate between whether it's half Ubers and half Lyfts. I honestly can't answer that, but I could find out and tell you. I mean, it's not a big deal.
No, I was just curious. And then you mentioned the revenue share. That was my next question, is going to be, so like all the extra revenue raised from these advertisements, you know, how much of that is going back to you? How much is going to the companies, Uber and Lyft? How much is going to the drivers themselves? Do you have the breakdown of that?
Yeah, so the drivers can earn up to 15% of the revenues off of the ride shares. But there's a whole bunch of other metrics that we have in place to give them additional revenue opportunities with casinos and with restaurants and Q codes, with customers get discounts in certain places, and then it's a concentric circle, so that the ride share that the driver got that Q code out of is tracked, and that ride share driver gets benefited and commissioned for that. So there's a whole plethora of opportunities apart from just having the ads and branding and like content on the screens. There's places to eat, places to shop, places to go, and all of those activities have benefits to the drivers as well.
Wow, look, we got someone in the chat saying they're holding 20,000 shares. That's a lot of ALFI stock.
There we go. All right, there's an air horn for that one.
And I always try to I always like the tangible examples. So you mentioned the, you know, a mid-20s woman getting ads for sunglasses because she's got the Fendi sunglasses on, the yellow sunglasses. So say Luke and I get in an Uber with an ALFI tablet, right? So you got two, you know, mid-20s guys in the Uber. What kind of ads do you think we're going to be getting? You know, is it Bud Light ads? What do you have that worked out, or is it up to the advertisers?
So the brand owners and the content owners, they set the metrics on it initially, and then we feed it into our recommendation engines, and those engines then will pull up the most relevant ad first and the least relevant ad last. So you might get a Bud Light ad, you might get an ad for the event taking place at in Wynwood this afternoon, or you might get an ad for the Spotify concert that's taking place down in Miami. As you know, Spotify moved their headquarters down here, which is a pretty nice building right down in the Wynwood district. You know, so you may get ads relevant to what the brand or the content has targeted as their key demographic of user or target. And then what happens is, as ALFI continues to train, ALFI will start to learn and say, hey, you know something? It's not just the 25-year-old male that's interested in this product. This is what we found over the last 30 days, and this is the kind of reporting. So that sort of information is invaluable to the brand owner, because now he can go back and retune his campaign to focus even more targeted, or to add a demographic or a user group that he wasn't even aware of before that was interested in his product. So it's a continual cycle of learning, and I call it not artificial intelligence, I call it assisted intelligence, because that's really what it is. You know, it's assisted intelligence and assisting the business owners, the brand owners make intelligent business decisions about their targeting and their product and who their real markets are.
Awesome. And Paul, I have one last question for you. It's actually really a double question, but we'll count it as one. But can you talk about what future deployments beyond the tablets will look like? And then, you know, from the investor standpoint, what's the next thing that we should have our eye on or be looking forward to?
Well, a couple interesting things. As you know, we're rolling out the tablets. We're also looking at what we call launch pads. And there are many companies out there. I can't name them right now that we're looking at acquisition targets for, which we call launch pads, because they've deployed devices and they don't have the intelligence that ALFI has on it. But by layering ALFI's technology on top of these devices, it's a fantastic launch pad for us, and an uplift in revenue of almost like 400% overnight. So there are some very targeted markets and companies we're looking at. Just so you know, and they'll be coming out. Chris Whalen from Starlight joined us as the VP of National Sales yesterday. It was his first day at ALFI. And there's a whole pipeline of exciting stuff that's going to be coming out based on the discussions we've had over the last 48 hours.
Wow.
And another interesting thing that you might want to know too is Tim Gannon, the founder of Outback Steakhouse. is an investor in Alfie. He was so intrigued by the technology that we're going into contract with his chain, his restaurants, to deploy Alfie in those restaurants.
Wow.
So,
all right, absolutely interesting. And one last question out of the chat, Paul. Do we have an earnings date yet?
So we're onboarding. We're now onboarding the revenues. By the end of June, July is going to be a heavy month with revenue onboarding. So it'll be, our earnings call will probably be Q3, because Q2 is almost done, and we just went public May 4th, which was a month ago. So we're now ramping up and powering. And look, there are two things that we're doing, and we're sticking hard to. We're keeping the float tight. We've been given a big bat, and we're swinging for the hills, and it's going to be a home run. And with the pipeline of projects that we have deploying and contracts under our belt.
Awesome. Paul, I appreciate you taking the time out of such a busy, crazy 48 hours to join us.
I always enjoy it. So listen, I got something. For the first 10 people that ping you, we're gonna mail out to them free Alfie caps.
Oh, hell yes. All right. There we go. There's another air horn.
All right. So Aaron, if you get the first 10 people to send you their mailing addresses, we'll FedEx overnight to them Alfie caps.
That's awesome, Paul. What I'm going to do is I'm going to throw in the email, powerhour@benzinga.com.
I just dropped it in the chat. Let's go. Let's get these hats.
10 emails we get are getting free Alfie hats. Thank you, Paul, for doing that for Zinger Nation. We love having you on.
I love coming on your show. It's so much fun. I really enjoy. You guys are great, and I really enjoy you hosting me. Thank you.
Absolutely, Paul. You are absolutely out here for the retail investor. You're for the little guy, just like we are. So we appreciate it.
Thank you. No, absolutely. Those are the guys that make it happen, and I thank them profusely. And we stand strong. We're keeping that float tight.
All right, I like it. Keeping the float tight, guys. There it is. You asked us yesterday, last night. I put a message into our group chat here at Benzinga saying, I'm getting a lot of pings about ALF Alfie right now. Let's see what we can make happen. We delivered on it. Paul came through for us. So there we go. Let's give producer AB a round of applause there on making that one happen.
And Luca, a round of applause as well for another great interview. I think I'm already, oh, wow. I've already gotten like 6 emails. So if you guys want the hat, you better hurry because they're coming in quick. The emails are coming in quick. Go.
Again, guys, powerhour@benzinga.com. Also, tell us what other companies you're interested in. Tell us how we make this show better. How do we make Benzinga News better? There's something we can do to deliver for you guys. That's what we're out here trying to do every single day. So let's make it happen on this hump day. Jason Raznick, what's going on, man? Nope. That would be a negative. We see him. He looks great.
Looks good.
Just he lost his voice. That's what it was. But all right, guys. So let's catch up on our agenda for the day. For anybody who, there we go. Wait, do it again.
What was the story with yesterday with Neil? Was he faking you out, Bree? How did it end up?
No. He really had his whole tab muted. So I had a guest come on the show and he couldn't hear her either. So that's when he finally figured out
I thought he was faking out the whole time, and I thought it was a brilliant move, and I was very impressed.
That's what Alyssa runs our Twitter. She's great. She messaged me. She was like, I thought Neil was messing with you this whole time too, and everyone thought that, but no, it was really.
Did Alyssa private message you?
Yeah.
So she's contributing to the one-on-one messages, distractions that throughout the day that we're trying to build. All the inches are around us. We got to find all the little inches.
Well, I'm not here to, tattletale on anyone.
Well, you did.
I know.
Luke, I'm really upset about a stock right now.
I'm going to guess it's ALF. If you're not, you should be.
AL what?
ALF.
Wait, what about Torchlight? Remember when, Raz, that was one of the stocks you bought when he was
Torchlight is on the list for today, too.
I'm out of that one.
I know, but then they had the big move up yesterday.
Yeah, Torchlight is up.
Wait, hold on. I thought you were telling me negative news. I was going to say I'm out of that one. Luke got me out of that one. So Luke got me out of that one. He's like, you think you should get out. So what's the symbol of Torchlight?
TRCH.
Okay, so
let's pull it up on Benzinga Pro.
So you guys pull up on Benzinga Pro, and I'm gonna share my screen on Torchlight. TRCH. Okay.
Yeah, I want to know what you got it at, Jason. So if you would have never sold, what your position percentage-wise would be.
Hold on. Where is this? We built this cool software application that lets you Torchlight 570. Are you fucking kidding me? What?
Hey,
Luke,
I didn't tell you to sell. Luke did.
Luke, what the hell? What do you know, Mr. Luke? Oh my God.
So here's what I asked you. Okay.
Wait till you guys see this shit. God.
I said,
You guys
what
get a
reason
bucket of
do you
water
own the
and throw it
stock
on
for?
Luke's face?
Do you have a reason to own the stock?
Because what's his name told me to.
Hugh Henney.
Let's go. I bought 5,000 shares. I sold 1,000 at 3.7. I sold all 5,000 shares at 340. 340. And what's it at now?
It's at 580.
So that'd be at least 25% gain.
So we'll just do the calculation, Mister. $1.80 times 5,000. That's almost $10,000 gain. Out the door, dinosaur. Out the door, dinosaur. 10,000. Out the door, dinosaur. It happens. You can't blame it on anyone else. It's not Luke's fault. It's Mr. Raznick. It's Jason Raznick. So.
But what about Alfie? Let's go back to this one for a second. So you interviewed them last week. We make the promise to you guys. Interesting companies.
You said who interviewed them?
You and producer AB.
Okay, well, I just don't like pronouns. ALF?
ALF. Stock up 100% over the past 48 hours. 130%.
Oh, well, yeah. So I bought 100,000 shares of this 2 days after. Because I really understood it. No, I didn't buy 100,000 shares, guys. I just want you to know that.
Happy in the chat is saying your mic volume is very low, by the way, Jason.
Oh, well, that is great.
It sounds okay to me, but that's what he's saying.
That's great information. You're my friend. You're my buddy. I appreciate you. You're a nice guy. You're part of Zinger Nation. I will fix that for you with the click of a button because you are the man, whoever said that. So thank you. I love.
All right. How about this?
Oh, my God. Wow.
Oh, yeah. You like that better?
You just went 100 years into the future. 100 years of tech advancement.
Why? You said I was fine before.
It sounded fine, but now you sound like Howard Stern. You just went from like a phone call to we got Howard Stern on the XM radio.
Well, it was fine the first time because it went from nothing to that, so that was like a good improvement. But this is just as much of an improvement.
I can't wait to see what the next mic change is going to do.
Do you? I just switched headphones. Hello? I gotta get out of here.
All right. He'll figure it out. He'll get back on here. Guys, if you are just joining us, this is the Power Hour. This is the Trade Ideas Show. Let me give you a preview of what is to come, what we have on the docket.
I'm back.
He's back.
Yeah, I was trying to use my normal phone headset instead of the computer thing for the show. I was trying to make my life easier, but it didn't work. So it's okay. It's okay. So you said I sound like Howard Stern. Do I look like him?
Much better.
I don't know.
I don't think Howard Stern is a great looking guy. I'm just going to say that.
What about his wife?
I think he's sort of weird.
Hey,
looking.
Aaron Bree.
Yes.
Guys, I want Aaron Bree to alert Zinger Nation when Aaron Bree arrives into the office going forward.
How should I alert them? Should I send out a tweet from the?
No, you should automate a tweet that's based on your location.
Yeah, we can use Zapier. There's the guy next to me, this guy Jonah Liss. He learned about Zapier today. He's like, Jonah, Zapier. I'm talking about him. You on the show? He's very excited. He found this thing called Zapier, and he asked me, "Have I ever heard of Zapier?" He's like, "There's this thing called Zapier," and I'm like, "Have you ever heard of Amazon?" He's like, "Oh, okay." He has 300,000 employees. All right. Anyway, no, yeah, Cameron Dole. I didn't test before going on. I usually do, buddy. I'm sorry. All right, Luke, you have some guests coming on too today. But Luke, do you have to go to the orthodontist right now? Because I know your teeth, you're trying to get them whiter.
Yep, I do have to get over to the orthodontist, but we have some pretty awesome guests lined up.
Oh, I know.
So we're going to be talking to KULR. We're going to be talking to carparts.com. So we got a jam-packed show today.
I know you love carparts.com. I know you love the concept, love the definition, and it's by you know what's really cool about car parts, guys. I'll tell you one thing. So yes, it's a brand. It gets out there, but they redid their website. And they made it very optimized, speed-wise, everything. I had Luke look at it. Luke, one night we were looking at how fast it was. If they wanted to, they're not doing this right now, so just relax. I know this, but they could take another e-commerce product and sell it and use the same technology. Sort of think Shopify, but not Shopify, but take car parts or something else. They're not doing that right now. I'm just the guy that's always just thinking a little weirdly, and that's just something that could happen down the road. Does that make sense, Luke?
I think it's interesting. Absolutely.
I'm just saying when you
let's ask him about it.
When you build good technology, you can use it for other things. If you have a good CTO, a great CTO, you can use it for other things. That's what I mean, Luke.
Yep, I hear you.
Okay.
Wait, did you see this, Raz? ORF, ticker ORPH. Vivi gave a little signal on it yesterday that the PDUFA date was coming out today. The stock is up 72% today. So we got to shout out Vivi. Maybe we'll mail her some Benzinga swag or something.
Whoa, pull that up, my man.
It's pulled up. Luke's got it pulled up. Luke's one step ahead of me.
Oh, yeah, I see it. Hey, we got to address Talking Red. Jason, don't interrupt your guy. First of all, he's not my guy. When he's making an announcement to tell us how you're phoning around with your headset. This is the wrong channel for you then, Talking Bread. We're very open and honest, even if I screw up.
We do have Michael Mo.
Look at that FDA calendar. Look at that FDA calendar.
Boom. You want all your FDA dates? I got it for you guys. Historical database plus forward looking in the chat. Let's go.
I'm a fan of Viv.
Yep, we all are. But all right, let's bring Michael Mo on the stream. He's been hanging out patiently, coming back to the.
What a great name, Michael Mo.
I agree. Michael, what's going on, man? Welcome back. Happy to have you here. Everybody out there in the chat, the ticker is KULR. Somebody in Zinger Nation, put that ticker in the chat. Help your fellow Zingers out. But Michael, how are you doing today, sir?
I'm doing great. Hey, guys. Love the show. Thanks for having me.
Absolutely. And I know that we've made you do this once before, but I'm just going to ask again for anybody who's not familiar. Can you just give us a little bit of background on the company? I think talking about some of the EV aspects, some of the space aspects are super interesting.
Sure, yes. So quick introduction about KULR technology. We come from about over 30-year heritage of developing carbon fiber-based thermal management applications for space. Our products are trusted by NASA. We're on the Mars Rover Perseverance program. We're on the International Space Station to keep the astronauts' laptop batteries safe, and on numerous different aerospace and defense applications, which we're now deploying to multiple billion-dollar mass market applications as well. Our management team have decades of experience in technology, product development, sales, marketing, operations. Our customers include the NASA, JPL, Lockheed Martin, and our partners like Michael Andretti's Andretti Autosports. Our mission is to take these space-proven technology to keep the lithium-ion battery and electronics cooler, lighter, and safer.
Awesome. And can we talk about the EV market a little bit? That was something that I found is especially interesting. The last time you were on, you talked to last time you were on, you went from here's our space applications, here's our EV applications. I'm like, okay, this company's got some interesting things going on.
Yeah, sure. When you talk about EV and space, right, the common denominator that we think is the electrification of energy storage and transportation. So, like I said, our mission is to take that technology and then to make the batteries and electronics cooler, lighter, and safer. So, in real life applications such as energy storage with lithium-ion battery, safety is very important. You don't want your battery to catch fire. For the EV application, it's the same thing. We have battery testing technologies used by EV vendors, electric planes like the eVTOL guys. This is a technology that was actually invented by NASA for their space program. We became the exclusive licensee partner and commercialization partner for them since 2018. Now we have dozens of customers in all areas of EV, eVTOL, power tools, e-bikes using that technology to test for battery safety.
Awesome. And you recently announced the uplisting to the exchange. You guys are now on Amex, which I believe is a NYSE owned property. Can you talk to us a little bit about that uplisting and then what that means for the business, ability to raise capital, anything along those lines?
Sure. Yeah, we I think it was last Monday we got uplisted to the New York Stock Exchange at the American Exchange. I'd like to really to thank our shareholders, employees, customers, partners have been along with us all this way. Now we're on the New York Stock Exchange, access to new institutional and retail investors, so everybody can participate in our growth. And obviously, it's a big platform, more liquidity coming to the name. I think more importantly, on the NYSE, we're held to a much higher standard of execution and also transparency to our stakeholders, right? We've been working hard to build our team, to expand the operation. We're investing very heavily in all areas of our business, the R&D, operation, product development, sales, and marketing. And then so we'll continue to demonstrate that we're meeting and exceeding our milestones in revenue, product launch, and engagement with tier one customers and partners. So yeah, being on the NYSE is great. It's just the beginning for us.
Okay. And Michael, you brought up the product pipeline. Let's focus in on that for a second.
Yeah.
Can you tell us a little bit about what you have in store, and then biggest opportunity that you think is ahead of you in terms of product development?
Yeah, great. We believe that energy storage, battery transportation, and smart and safe batteries for high-value applications like drones and EV is going to be the growth driver for KULR for 2021 and beyond. So on the energy storage side, we've been talking about we work with energy storage customers to meet safety requirements such as the UL 9540 and some of the new fire department safety codes that's coming across the country. So things are getting more and more, strict, and then we have the technology to help the customer do that. So we expect customer launches in the second half of 2021 on that. On the battery transportation.
And when you say customer launches, does that mean new like large enterprise customers that you're announcing, or is that additional products going to those customers? What exactly does that mean?
So that's one of the customers. I don't want to steal their thunder, but they've been working with the regulatory bodies to get their battery pack approved for some of the most strict fire safety requirements around the country. So when they come to the market, they'll be the only one that meet that requirement for these states for enterprise and hospitality deployment. So super excited about that. And then we're working with regulatory bodies to continue to refine safety regulations on that. So yeah, so that's a product launch by the customer. Our components and our solution is in their product. Therefore, as they scale up, our revenue is starting to ramp with the customer, right? So yeah, so that's on the energy storage side. On the battery transportation and the storage side, we recently announced that we received a special permit from Department of Transportation to ship over 2 kilowatt-hour battery packs for recycling without hazmat training. So really what it does.
Tell us exactly what that means. I was looking at that press release as well. I'm putting it up on the screen, guys, so you guys can take a look. Look at this old exchange on there. That's you got a nice updated little ticker symbol now. But tell us what exactly that means and what the significance is.
Yeah, so that's actually it's the technology that's on the International Space Station that's right now storing the astronauts' laptop battery and the tablets. We repurpose that and we build special cases for commercial use to ship recycled prototype batteries and also DDR batteries. DDR batteries are what they call damaged, defective, and recall batteries. As you remember, the Samsung Galaxy 7 had a kind of infamous event a few years ago. You had to recall, 1 million phones in a very short period of time. So those are called DDR batteries. So we put in 3 different permits applications in with the proof of our technology. The first one we got the permit for is the recycle battery. So this is what we call what we think is going to be a game changer for recyclers, for OEMs when they have the batteries to ship in that kind of size, 2 kilowatt-hour. You can put into our case without hazmat training, ship anywhere around the country. So really reduce the cost of operation for the customer and really streamline their business operation. So that's a game changer for us, or for the customer. So now we're working with different, all the larger recycling companies and some OEMs and starting to deploy that technology. And then we have 2 other permits pending. One is a prototype battery. One is a DDR battery as well in this kind of large size. So when it gets to that kind of size, we think that we are unique. We're probably the only one in the country that has a special permit to handle batteries of this size.
Okay, and let me ask about this too. You brought up the laptops on the space station. I think you said is that
International Space Station.
All right, International Space Station laptops. Right, we know what we all know what astronaut ice cream is. Okay, that's clear. It's a nice little snack. But batteries on the space station. I imagine that there's some sort of charger that's regenerating those batteries in the laptops rather than them just bringing up here's a bucket of batteries. Is that accurate, or how exactly does that work?
Well, that's, the charger is probably generated by solar or it's, internal generation at the International Space Station. But the laptop batteries still need to be charged from the power source of the International Space Station. So as, astronauts move around, do their work, and their computer is powered by the laptops and the tablets. And so as they charge them, as, they have many spares, some of them go to end of life, they stored them in their storage compartment. And as you can imagine, the International Space Station, the real estate is really tight. So they want to pack them as closely as possible. So in the case that...
and let me ask this one too, again, and then we'll move off of the space station questions. But I'm sort of curious. Is it like a normal 3-pronged outlet that they plug into, their devices?
It's your Dell computers, your HPs of the world, so it's the same laptop. They probably go to a little bit, higher screening process to make sure they're they're good quality, right? So this, guys. In short, they just pack like 100 of these things in a case. You don't want any of them to catch fire. So that's what we do to protect the batteries. Yeah.
Okay. And Michael, let me ask you one more question. What should investors be looking out for? What's on the horizon that we should have our eyes on? What sort of announcements, catalysts, etc., should we be tuned into?
Yeah, so we should be measured by achieving our milestones. And I think that the 3 different milestones that investors should look for, one is revenue growth, one is product launch, one is customer and partner launches as well. So on the revenue growth side, we exited 2020. The Q4, we grew about 200% year over year. Q1 2021, we grew about, over 400% year over year. We are investing, like I said, we're investing heavily so that we want to maintain that growth for the rest of 2021 and 2022. So revenue growth will be a good milestone to measure us. Then the other one is product launch, right? So we're fundamentally a core technology company. So the fundamental value of the company is based on the technology. So we'll continue to invest heavily on that. So we're going to continue to launch, products. And then that's what investors should look for. And third is customers and partners. So tier 1 customers, as they go to mass production, we launch with them, and then that's what the investors should look for. So a great product with a great customer launch, that's the engine for the flywheel of growth.
Awesome. Well, Michael, I appreciate you taking time out of your day to come back to us, join us again on the Power Hour. Super interesting company, guys. We promise you we are bringing interesting stocks, especially ones that you might not have heard of before. Again, the ticker is KULR. Somebody in Zinger Nation in the chat, drop that ticker in there again for us. And Michael, we hope to have you back sooner. And as you guys have announcements, let us know. Make sure.
Great. Yeah, can I just add one more thing?
Yes. Yep.
Yes, so I would be, let me show you this. Can you see this? I would be on Reddit.
Hold on.
It's my first time. Ask me anything on Reddit.
Okay, there we go.
Yeah. So I'm looking forward to engage with more investors and the shareholders on the different forums.
And give us the date and time of that.
June 23rd, 2 p.m. ET.
All right, perfect. There you have it, guys. So if I ask the wrong questions, you had the right questions to ask, Michael. Maybe you want more space facts. That's always what interests me. There you go. June 23rd, 2 p.m. Eastern. He's going to be on Reddit doing an Ask Me Anything. Let's go.
Thank you so much.
Absolutely. Thank you. All right, guys. I'm going to keep us clipping. Jam-packed show as always. We're bringing the fire today. So we just talked to ALF. We just talked to KLUR. We have a third public company who's about to join us. I'm going to throw him onto the stream here with me in just a second. David, what's going on, man? Coming to us from carparts.com, ticker PRTS. Oh, there we go.
What's up, Luke?
There it is.
How you
Not
doing?
too much, man. I'm doing well. You know, it's Wednesday. It's hump day. I love that Geico commercial from, I checked it last night, 7 years ago, hump day, the camels. But what's up in your world?
Hey, everything's good, man. Can't complain. But I got to ask you about that McLaren.
Okay.
Tell me about that experience. And did you get into any accidents?
Okay, so you saw the McLaren, guys. We
I
didn't even
did.
talk about this on the show yet. So tomorrow we're gonna have full McLaren footage. Okay, so hit subscribe, stay tuned. But Benzinga was gifted a McLaren for a handful of days. It was very scary. It got fun a couple hours into it, but I'm like a pretty conservative driver, and driving around a $350,000 vehicle freaks me out a little bit. There's no doubt about that.
So, Luke, if you need any parts, you know who to call, right? You and I?
Yes.
Yeah, let's
Thank
do it.
God I did not need any parts, guys. The website, carparts.com. Yeah, we did not wreck the vehicle. That was obviously a concern. And we got some good footage too. So tomorrow, everybody in Zinger Nation will be looking at that. And you know what we have today too, is we have a Ford Tremor. I think it's a trim on the Ranger and the F-150. I don't know which version we have.
Ranger.
There we go.
Nice
Ranger.
mustard yellow Ranger. Brand. It's a new one, but I gotta say one thing. I gotta say in this interview, Car Parts perfect, guest to come on. So I was like an electric guy. I was like, oh, when I hear these loud engines and cars with all these parts and motors and stuff, I was like, their engine. I loved driving the car with the engine. I love driving the McLaren. I love the noise.
It's the best, man. It's music.
It totally, man. And I was a hater, Luke. I have to be honest.
Yes.
Until I drove it, I would say I was a number one hater of loud cars. And no, I am a changed man.
Yes. Can I tell a story from this weekend?
Sure. Yeah.
It's coming. Okay. So I was talking to Jason. We had some work to get done on Sunday. He's like, yeah, I'll be home, whatever. So I drove over at his house, get there around 1 o'clock. Shows up about an hour and a half later. I was just driving the car, just sitting there by myself, which is fine. You have fast internet.
Very nice.
I couldn't stop driving. That engine. I mean, come on. I mean, that's just like a Tesla's one thing, but no noise. I mean, this was amazing.
It's a head turner too.
It's a head turner like no other. Yeah, that's Luke. That couldn't have said it better. That's right. So, all right, enough about combustion engines and cars, but they're the real deal. Deal. So it was awesome.
But all right, so David, we've spoken a couple times. I'm definitely a believer in the company. You got me fired up about it. I'm a shareholder now, converted by you. But
Awesome.
but we had a bad day yesterday. We were at somewhere in the 19 range. Stock got all the way as low as the 16s. Can you tell us what's going on?
Hey, listen, the market can go three directions, up, down, or sideways. So, yesterday was a bad day. Today might be a better day. What I can tell you is, 2.5 years ago, the stock was 97 cents. Today it's $18, $19. What we're doing is we're building an exceptional business. We have something that no one else has in the industry. We have a proprietary catalog. We have our own supply chain. This morning at 6 a.m., we announced that we're expanding one of our DCs. So 2 years ago, we had two DCs.
And DC is distribution center?
Distribution centers, yes, warehouses. So we have our own supply chain. So 2 years ago, 2 distribution centers. Today, 5, expanding to 6, then moving into Florida, 7. So, that should remind you of some of the other players like, Wayfair and Chewy and some of the other players that invest in their supply chain. So we control the whole supply chain from the sourcing, the data, the supply chain, and we ship it directly to the customer, and that's how we win. And so, as an investor, what you should care about is, sales and margin dollars. And what our supply chain allows us to do is secure those margin dollars, not like a traditional marketplace. We own the inventory, we ship it directly to the customer, and we can control the entire experience. And you should feel excited about that.
All right. So I know we had a little bit of insider selling yesterday. I'm not going to put out you weren't on the list, so don't worry. But
I'm
you're saying don't worry.
on that, Luke.
As a long-term investor, don't be worried about it. That's what you're saying.
Yeah, so I'll tell you one thing about the insider selling, because I think that's a fair push. So me personally, I sold 267 shares. So that's about, I don't know, $3,000 or $4,000. It's, sell to cover. So, the entire management team is incentivized with performance shares, and it's long-term incentives. And as the company delivers results, we get a piece of our compensation in shares. So for me personally, 90% of my compensation is in the form of performance equity. So if you do well as a shareholder, I do well. If I don't deliver the results that I promise, I get 10% of my comp. So what you want is you want the cash to be invested in inventory, marketing, supply chain, and data and catalog. And you want the executive team like me to be incentivized for performance. And if I don't perform, kick me out. That's the rule.
Okay. Jay, I want to talk about EV for a second too. Just we got a couple questions about this in the chat. But can you talk about, with the advent of EVs and that becoming a bigger part of the marketplace, how does that impact your business? Are you guys carrying EV parts? Will there be as much a demand for parts, et cetera?
Yeah, so for sure. So, one of the misconceptions about our business is that we're all combustion engine. And the reality is 90% of the parts we sell are agnostic to the powertrain, which means we can sell for a combustion engine, but we can also sell for a Tesla or a Prius or a Chevy Volt. What it means for us is that the car park is going to change. There is going to be more EVs and more hybrids on the road, and we have to carry those parts, both on the replacement side and the mechanical parts. Last year we launched a destination for EV drivers. It's easy to remember. It's carparts.com/EV, and you have the tools, the parts, and the information you need to get your EV back on the road. So we're making some investments today. Right now it's just, a few percentage points when you look at total sales, but over time, that's going to get a bigger piece of the pie because the cars are going to get older. The EV cars are going to get older. So when Tesla is turning 10, 15, 20, we're going to be right there to deliver the parts.
Awesome. And David, I know we've spoken a few times now, but what other updates can you give us? Anything else you want to touch on, highlight that's changed in the story, what you guys have going on? And again, guys, I know I'm being a little tough, but here, let me take my screen share back. One of the reasons why, and we've talked about your stock on this show plenty of times without you being here. We've cited these numbers a few times. One of the reasons why I love this company is if we look at the revenue growth on a year-over-year basis, check this out. We went from 87 million to 145 million in the most recent quarter. So obviously, I mean, the performance of the company has been amazing. We look at the 1-year chart of the stock; it's been amazing. But yeah, David, what can you tell us that you're excited about? You've been working on is new rolling out, etc.
So I'll give you a couple of things. So number one is brand awareness. We're making a big push on offline advertising. So traditionally, we've been doing a lot of online advertising. Now you're seeing TV advertising, TV campaigns, professional fight league sponsorship, NASCAR sponsorship, fishing link sponsorship. So you're going to see the name carparts.com a lot more than before. So that's number one. Number two is customer.
If you need to sponsor any YouTube shows, just let me know. You got my number, okay? But keep going.
If you're going to be driving a McLaren, maybe we should talk. Yes.
Yeah. All right. There we go.
I think, number two is technology investments, specifically around customer experience, which means making the website faster, easier to use, easier to discover, and delivering all the information in one place that's mobile friendly. So 80% of our traffic is mobile. So we have to deliver an experience for customers to be able to find all the information that they need to get back on the road. That's number two. Number three, which is what I'm most excited about, is supply chain and inventory expansion. So again, a few years ago, we had 2 distribution centers. Today we have 5. We're expanding. We're adding 156,000 square feet. We have more than 1 million square feet of warehouse space, more than $100 million of inventory. And it's fast moving inventory. So you look at the brick and mortar locations, their inventory will turn 1.5 times, 1.8 times a year. Our inventory will turn 3.5 to 4 times a year. So it's good inventory, good margin, fast turns. And then Florida. Right now we have a lot of coverage in the United States, North, East, South, and West. Like the Southeast is a big market for us. Florida is a huge market. We're expanding there. We're opening a new DC, 180,000 square feet. That's going to push the size of the supply chain to 1.2 million square feet. And that's what I'm excited about.
Awesome. Well, David, I appreciate you coming back on the show, coming and hanging out with us for a little bit. You know, like I mentioned at the top, you got me into the stock. I saw the insider selling, you know, some of those things yesterday. I wanted to talk about it. And can you give me the stat on the car part market again? You gave me one stat last time you were on that made me fall in love with the space. It was something like 3% of car parts are sold online versus 97% through traditional channels. What is that one?
I'll give you a couple. So number
Okay.
one is 300 million cars on the road in the United States.
Okay.
Number two, which is a number that just came out, the average age of a car on the road is 12.2 years. So most people don't drive a brand new car.
Yep.
Average is 12 years. Number three is the size of the prize, $300 billion. That's just aftermarket auto parts. And then the last one, which you referred to, is what percentage of aftermarket parts are sold online, and it's only 3%. Compare that to Chewy, compare that to Wayfair, like that's 15 to 20%. So for us, you know, you get the 3 to 4, you get the 4 to 5, and it's PRTS to the moon.
There we go. I love it. To the moon. Air horn, David, coming on and hanging out with us once again, sir. And as always, keep us in touch. When you guys are making these announcements, you should break them with Benzinga. You know,
we'll do. I promise.
And get the word out. All right, perfect.
Thanks, Luke.
Thank you, sir. I appreciate it.
Up.
Absolutely, absolutely. All right, Zinger Nation. My time is coming to an end. Jason Raznick's here.
Yeah, Luke.
You have a special segment, it looks like.
You always do. Good segments here. Yeah, I have a special segment with Aaron Bree. How'd you know?
I saw I'm on pretty much every email alias we have. I got my eyes everywhere.
Yeah. By the way, Damon, you can go, Luke, but Damon makes a good point that he's seen the site carparts.com up on a couple dealer locations when he's there. It's a good sign for the stock. Absolutely. So, Aaron Bree, what do you think's happening with crypto?
What's happening with crypto? I mean, I think we're just in one of those kind of cycles where, you know, we'll see the big outflow right now, it looks like, but I'm you know what I'm doing, Rez? I'm waiting until Ethereum gets down to like 2,200, and then I think I'm going to buy some.
Okay, but so you don't think the Bitcoin crypto rally's over? Is what I'm hearing you say.
Well, I mean, the rally itself might be, you know, but I think like, that's the thing is I would invest in Ethereum like long term. Like I would buy some now and hold it for 10 plus years. But I would rather buy Ethereum right now than Bitcoin. I don't know how you feel about that.
I mean, I'm looking at like stocks like Voyager that I own, right? And I see them just getting hammered and hammered and hammered. So I just don't know where we're at in the cycle.
Wait, we do have a special guest here from Zinger Nation. I feel bad because we don't have a lot of time left. So maybe we should just have Max come back on tomorrow or so.
Go ahead. Do what you want to do.
Well, let's bring him on for a second. Max, are you here with us? Oh, he's here. Max, how you doing?
Hey.
So you emailed us that you were, you know, you and Raz were going to do like a battle of wits. What was that about?
Oh, so why don't you introduce him properly? So, so hold on. So now that I know, don't make him come on again tomorrow. But real quick, so Moneybag was saying that we're trying to be like traditional media, and so I wanted to get feedback on why he thinks we're trying to be like traditional media. That's what it was about. I mean, yeah, he emailed about battle of wits. He'll win. He'll beat me in a battle of wits. I'm not. That's not my game.
All right, you're cutting out a lot, but I'll just say what I have to say, and then
I'm cutting. Wait, hold on. Let me say it again.
Really, I'm really confused. Why, like, do you pay for office space and not sit together when you film this?
Who?
You.
Do I pay for obviously not sit together?
Yeah, like why are you in different rooms when you film this?
Well, if we were right next to each other, then our audios would be picked up on each other and would create like an echo. So we just have to kind of get in separate rooms.
And there's different segments that we do.
I mean, it's done before. I mean, there's a lot of podcasters on YouTube. Like I don't know if you know who Pat McAfee is. They just have a studio set up, and then they can have guests come in. And I think when you have guests on, especially people who are CEO of companies and people who represent their companies, it's harder for them to perform over Zoom, and you give them way too little time. Like you have the whole day. Why don't you set? Hey, how about this? You had a CEO come on earlier who announced he was doing an AMA later in the month or whatever. Why don't you host AMAs on Zinger or on Benzinga live? and ask them questions. Aaron had, or I don't know who that was, but he had a really good question asking about insider trading. Why were they selling what they had? And the CEO was fine with answering all his questions. The interviews are too brief, especially when it's somebody talking about their life and blood, you know? Like, why not give them half an hour, 45 minutes? You'll have less stuff to talk about aside from that, but it's not enough time. And especially when people like some of these CEOs are really bad at talking, you want to give them the ability to express what they know about their company. Also, I want to say advertising these, but a lot, some of the stocks you talk about are very low float. And if you have a very large audience, that can pump the stock. And that's kind of banned from a lot of people, like individual websites, from people talking about low float stocks, things lower than 5 million available to the public. Aside from that, I just want to say crypto, you guys talked about it. It's really just tied to how much margin hedge funds can get their hands on and the price of the dollar. I mean, you can talk about inflation. It's just measured by the stock market. The stock market, we're already in a recession. So we haven't been in a bull market for a long time, and people don't realize it's just the price of the dollar keeps going down. And yeah, so sorry for hijacking your show for a while, but
No, this is
it was
great.
fun. Take
This
it
is
easy.
great. Wait,
Yeah.
Matt,
Yeah.
one question. One question
Okay.
on the hedge fund margin thing. So are you
Yeah.
saying?
Let me just say it's not regulated and it's a derivative. Hedge funds can get 100 to 1 margin on crypto.
Yep. So are you saying right now they're not doing it as much because another trade they're putting on?
I don't know. I mean, maybe. If let's say you spent $1 billion shorting AMC, GameStop, or something else, lumber, maybe a year ago, lumber's up 350% because of inflation. You know, the Fed's in the meeting right now. I don't know what they're talking about, but the markets are kind of sliding in some places because of rumors that they could be talking about raising rates. Really? So the entire market retracts this much. What was your question though? Oh yeah.
I thought you.
So
I thought.
I don't know. Let me say this: Blockbuster, a stock that's been dead and bankrupt for like a decade, squeezed when GameStop squeezed. That sounds like a margin call. I don't think a lot of retail investors were going and pumping Blockbuster. That's a margin call. You can see that with a bunch of penny stocks, Sears, that squeezed too. I mean, you can see it all over the market. These people who have shorted companies to death years ago, who are getting margin called now and having to cover these penny stocks. I mean, also this, like, you should allow people from your community to participate like this. I know you don't have, your show doesn't go on forever and you have a lot of people watching, which I think if you change some things, frankly, we could get those numbers up. Love you, Jason, though. But have people be able to call in. You have a lot of people. You have millions of people who have been locked in their houses, all quarantined. A lot of people who have been told not to work. The government gives them money. What are they going to do? They're going to go on their phone, open free Robinhood accounts, and try to make money. And a lot of people are able to retire very early. A lot of people are also losing all of their money. So that's why you should try to back away from I don't know how to explain this best, but who is your target audience?
Are you asking me?
Yeah. That's my question to you. Who is your target audience? Just traders as a whole? Is your
when Benzinga started, we thought it was unfair that Wall Street had an edge over Main Street, and so we created this thing called Benzinga Pro to give real-time news to the average investor.
It's kind of like.
Wait, let me finish.
Sorry, go ahead.
Let me just finish. Over time, what changed was we were good for people once they were already an expert, but we were terrible for beginners. About 4 years ago, we made the change to be like, when you Google something like what's a dividend stock, Investopedia shows up. So we changed our business to be more for the beginner investor. 3 days a week on our show, this 12 to 1, we have call-ins for all the listeners to come in and ask questions, and they come on the show just like this. Like, this isn't unusual because this isn't our show. It's the nation's show, and our audience is on the smaller side. Like, just being honest, we may have 400 or 500 on YouTube, but then the other distribution channels, maybe it's 1,000 people per show, maybe 3,000 per show. Zinger Nation, people take over the show sometimes and they host a show. There's a bunch of other shows, people that are interesting, have good viewpoints. I thought your margin call on the hedge funds was fucking, maybe other people are saying that, but I thought that was an awesome take on it because there's probably some big reality to that. And I don't hear that being talked about as much. And one of the founding principles for Benzinga wasn't about the smartest people working at Benzinga. The smartest people, in my opinion, are around the world. So if we can crowdsource that intelligence, like we did for the cannabis vertical with Alan Brockstein, we could have something of value versus being like another Wall Street Journal where the attitude is the smartest people are in the room. We don't necessarily believe that, but it's hard to find the smart people because then you don't know if they're biased and they're trying to pitch their thing. Over time, we think we will, but that's the goal, I guess.
All right, Jason. Well, it was fun talking to you. Take it
Thanks,
easy.
man. Thanks for doing this. So he did it. He came on. That was the guy. Bree, I lost you too. So we do have the technical stocks. Max came on, and I appreciate him coming on and giving that feedback. And I think everyone should be able to share feedback. There's things that we're going to do wrong. There's things like I thought his feedback was great. I think he has good ideas. Let the nation, let you guys come on the show more often. I think that's good. And listen, like this is a community here. It sounded like he may have been a little angry or something, but I'm not sure. I think he was giving feedback. Maybe you guys didn't like the kind of the way he gave it, but I don't know. I just want to hear it out because I don't have all the answers. I thought his theory on the margin calls was interesting. But listen, I have this thing I call Stu is your friend. Seek to understand. Stu is your friend. Seek to understand. I can tell there's some anger in his voice, but I don't know if it's lodged at me or just lodged at something else. But I wanted to hear him out, and I kind of wanted to, Matt, I did give him credit. Matt Rank, that's what I said. So, any of you other people want to come on the show and give feedback on how we can improve things, or you want to do a show and host a show, by all means. I don't have an attitude that I'm smarter than anyone else. This is Zinger Nation. You guys are all smart in different ways. If you start quizzing me on history lessons, you're going to destroy me. If you start asking me about, golf, I may have a lot of answers. So anyway, let's do that again. I think Neil's on now. I don't know what happened to Aaron Bree. Is Neil on right now, guys? Let's just make sure. I don't know if Neil's on. Hold on. Can someone tell me what's going on here? Do you guys know if Neil's on right now? If technical thing's on? All right, I'll just go look.
Hey,
Hold
Jason,
on.
can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Yep. Yeah, Neil is on, and that's where Bree is. He's producing with him.
Okay. Well, he should just like a little bit, tell me in the future. All right, and then tomorrow, guys, I'm gonna give you my favorite YouTube shows that I watch. It's not all business related, guys, so you may enjoy. But again, I don't censor, so you may be uncomfortable too. I don't know. I think you'll enjoy to see some of the favorite YouTube shows that I watch. Not shows, but like things I watch, okay? His issue is you know, I'll answer. People who think they know the most usually don't. Yeah. Yeah, Merv, I don't know. Maybe he wasn't used to doing it. I don't know. I want to hear him talk. I was glad he came on. And that's it. So it is what it is. People think, hey, I had a guy I talked on the phone for 40 minutes who thought I was like hated AMC. It was really funny. At the end of it, he's like, whoa, I had you wrong. Us humans tend to form opinions. They tend to form opinions and without seeking to understand. So Stu is your friend. and that's it. You know what I mean? So Stu is your friend. Seek to understand before making assumptions. That's all I would say. Okay, let's go over to Neil. Neil's a good man, works hard. And again, if you know any developers, designers, writers looking for a job, SEO people, please give us a reach out at powerhour@benzinga.com. Have a great day, and I'm going to send you over to Neil. So I think I have to hit end broadcast, right? Rohan, how do I do this?
I got it. I'll take care of it.
Okay.
All right. See you guys.
Yeah, peace.